Okay, I'm going to unpack Recordame, the great Joe Henderson composition, 16 bar form. Great tune to learn some various things. It's kind of partially modal. First 8 measures of the tune you kind of get to camp out on. A minor 7th for the first 4, and then C minor 7 for the second 4 measures, or measures 5 through 8, basically. After that, it goes into a sequence of short 2-5-1s, which can be a little tricky to navigate. Playing a full 4-measure phrased 2-5-1 is a little easier because the chords, take a little bit more time. You've got more opportunity to kind of get through the different, chord tones that you need to make a line sound good. With the short 2-5-1, it's just lightning fast, as opposed to, right? So with Recordame, it's got the short 2-5-1s, and another cool device it uses, which is a really great thing to learn, and it's applicable to a lot of jazz standards, is it uses a movement. I call it parallel 2-5-1s. What's happening basically is once we resolve, in the case of the first cadence that we have starting in measure 8, moving to the 9th measure, we have C minor to F7 to B flat major 7. Then that root note of B flat will parallel minor. So it'll go from a B flat major to a B flat minor chord, major 7th to minor 7th. So then that parallel minor becomes the 2 chord in the new key. And we move down to a new key, now A flat major, and then we parallel minor and do another 2-5-1. What happens is we end up moving keys in whole steps. So we go from B flat major to A flat major to G flat major. The last sequence on that tune, it does C minor, F7, B flat, and then it does B flat minor, E flat 7, A flat, then it does A flat minor 7, D flat 7, G flat major 7, and then it just, instead of doing a parallel 2-5-1, we do G minor, which is a half step higher than the G flat, and then we G minor 7, C7, and then we get back to F major, which is kind of a chord that helps us to transition back to the parent key of A minor, as F major 7 functions as the flat 6 major 7 in the key of A minor. Now with this song, Dorian scales sound better. We don't want to play a pure Aeolian minor, although you could. Dorian minor sounds best. So you kind of get a cakewalk for the first 8 measures of the tune. One other thing to talk about here is when we go to that next system, the C minor 7 system, measures 5 through 8, while you could just say, well, I'm just going to play C Dorian ideas for the full 4 measures, what we have to remember is that measures 5, 6, and 7 are C minor 7th, but in the 8th measure begins the cadence of the C minor F7 to B flat major. And so you really need to start thinking about that short 2-5-1. We can't just play C Dorian ideas the entire time. So when we get to there, you can hear where we get that movement, right? So what we're going to do in this video is I've made 10 different licks, and let's pray I can play them all as I just compose these kind of based on previous kind of ideas I've had with this. But I'm going to play through all the examples. So there's 10 different licks we can play, and what we're going to do first is just practice them over that first short 2-5-1, C minor, F7, B flat major. So we're going to get that down, but once we get that down, then we can work on sequencing those lines down in that, in the movement that happens in the rest of the second half of the song here. So I just used my looper pedal here, and I got that going. So let's just play lick number 1 and see what that sounds like. what that worked over the short 2-5-1. Really easy lick, just a downward arpeggio, and then kind of just resolving to the B flat major. And I'm just recording this video without, editing or multiple takes, so it's possible I'll make a mistake or two, but you'll get the gist of what we're working with here. So if you have the PDF, you'll see you have lick 1, lick 2, lick 3, lick 4, lick 5, lick 6, lick 7, lick 8. So what I tried to do was with licks 1 and 2, each of those are, when you get to the second lick, it's going to be like a variation of what we played in lick number 1. So a lot of them are going to be really similar, but I just might change one note here and there. They maybe launch the same way. When I say launch, I mean just launching into the line. So they're going to launch in a lot of the same manner, but then you'll see maybe something happens differently in the middle of the line. They're very short. Most of them are 8th note based. But what I'm going to do is just go through and I'll play example. I'm going to play example 1 twice and then example 2 twice. And then you can practice them on your own. Here's example 2 coming right up. So that's what those sounded like. So we get the resolution, and then we get that variation there, which we're kind of accenting the flatted ninth. That's a tense note that helps pull us to the resolution of the B flat. Let's go to examples 3 and 4, and you'll see a little theme and variation here. These are pretty consonant. Just a quick side note, if you see a note in parentheses, that's on the PDF, that's a pickup note. So it's a pickup note in the and of 4 right before the start of the cadence. So example 2 has one. There's the downbeat. The downbeat's there, and 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That wasn't one of the lines, but I was just demonstrating the pickup note there. So let's keep it going. Let's do example 3 and 4. What these sound like. And then number 4 is. Okay, let's hear that against the backing. I'll go to number 4. Those ones are pretty easy, so you shouldn't have any trouble with that. Okay, making sure I didn't erase my my looper. Yeah, so let's go to 5 and 6 so you can hear those. 5 and 6. So this one has a little tension and release to it. That's number 5. Number 6, you can see it's a slight variation on what we did before. I might change picks here. That's number 5. You can hear the resolution. Now in a minute what we're going to do is take all these down through the different keys that we're moving in that second half. Here we go. Number 5 and 6. Here's 6. Okay. So there you have 5 and 6. Okay, cool. Let's go on to 7 and 8. So you can hear these. And I'll play them once without the accompaniment. And this one sounds, we're going to get into kind of a sharp 9, sharp 5 kind of sound. You can hear that tense F7 with the sharp 9 and sharp 5. And we're going to outline that and accent that in the line. So this is what this sounds like. Also has a pickup note on the and of 4. That's what that one sounds like. That's 7. Okay, Okay, and then a theme and variation going into 8th. Very similar. Let me do that again. So kind of the same movement where we're going to kind of work our way back down with that, you know, with that sound there. Here's with the accompaniment. That was 10. I'm sorry, number 8. Okay. Now, number 9. This one is just one I came up with, just using a little bit of tension and release as well, but just in a different way. This also has a pickup note on the end of 4, and it sounds like this. You don't have to play the chord at the end, but if you don't, it sounds like that. And then number 10, the last one on the PDF, sounds like this. Once again. Okay, let's put that with the backing track. So now we'll do number 9 and 10. Okay, let's do 10. Here's number 10. So there you can hear all the examples. Obviously, you're going to need to practice these to kind of get them under your fingers. And there's a couple ways we can go about this. So, yeah, I'm kind of thinking out loud here. But what I'm going to do next is just maybe try to play through all the examples. Let's see how that goes. Or maybe we'll do each one twice. And we're going to just go all the way through. So I'd like you to be able to play these in this singular key and play them clean. And then once that happens, the muscle memory of being able to just take that down and the whole steps down the neck of the guitar, it's not going to be super hard to do once you get the vocabulary under your fingers. So I'm going to play through all these with that little accompaniment and just see if we can rip through them real quick. Let's see how this goes. Here we go. Here's 2. Here's 3. Mistake there, wasn't too bad. So be able to do that first and foremost, just be able to play them in the one key. So in a minute I'm going to put on a Recordame backing track just using YouTube here, and we'll kind of continue this idea where we just work on maybe a few of these licks and start practicing them down the neck. I feel like there was something else I was going to say about that, but as you heard me play through them, it was like, there's a lot of ways to skin that goat, meaning a lot of ways to navigate playing a short 2-5-1. And hopefully this will kind of help just give you some vocabulary for the guitar and being able to navigate these kinds of sequences and cadences. So let's see what happens. So what I'm going to do now is, instead of using my looper pedal, let's put on Recordame, and we'll practice over the backing track. Now, I'll probably just improvise a little bit over the A minor part and the C minor part, and once it gets to the movements of those 2-5-1s, those quick 2-5-1s, I'll try to implement some of these licks, and I'll just do the same every time I get to that part of the song. I'll just, whichever one I pick, I'll probably go in some order here, but whichever one I pick, I'll just move it down the neck through those different keys, through B flat major, A flat major, G flat major, and F major. And here's the thing. Let's see how this goes. There we go. All right, so made a mistake or two here and there, but just to go cold, I think I did okay. I just wrote these out like maybe 30 minutes ago, all these licks. So I tried to play through all of them with the backing track, and you can see I just sequenced each lick down the neck as I was playing through the backing track. So I was improvising over the modal part of the tune, the A minor and the C minor part, but right in that eighth measure, going into the ninth measures, when I would start the sequences for these various licks. So I hope you found this video helpful, especially just in terms of like getting some ideas for how to do some of these shapes for the guitar. But obviously this vocabulary is universal for jazz and could be applied to any instrument. But the tab PDF obviously kind of shows maybe optimal positions for the fingerings. And obviously with guitar, we're going to have different places we can play things. You know, for example, like that lick, like I could play it down here. The problem with that is, though, if I want to sequence the muscle memory of it, that particular position, as I move down, I'm going to run out of real estate. But so I tried to put this in a position on the guitar that was kind of at least where we don't run out of frets, basically. Yeah, so this will get you started with Recordame. It's a great tune. It's like kind of a mix of, you know, you get the little easy, you get room to breathe over the first 8 measures, and then it gets intense. But once you learn this kind of concept of parallel 2-5-1s as well as short 2-5-1s, it'll open up a lot of doors for being able to play this kind of thing in other tunes, because you're going to see these same kind of movements in lots of different songs, and it should help the cause. So anyway, good luck, happy practicing, and I look forward to hearing from everybody. And if you need the PDF, just shoot me a message or an email, and I'll send that right over to you. All right, good luck.